I haven't talked about expectations for Jordan Davis. Um, I need more out of the kid. I need more out of him. This guy just can't be a run stopper. I want to say this to you guys, and I want to throw this at you here. I haven't talked about expectations for Jordan Davis. I need more out of the kid. I need more out of him. This guy just can't be a run stopper. You don't draft a kid with the 13th pick and go after a guy like that, and he's just a one-dimensional dude. You're looking for Fletcher Cox 2.0 here. Guy who dominates the line of scrimmage, who gives you internal pressure, and is a force in the middle. You're basically looking for a Dominican Sue and Fletcher Cox. That's the kind of guy you need in the middle. And I don't want to see a guy where he has 3 flash plays and then you don't see him again. And when you play and have that kind of ability, conditioning, see, here's why Aiden Hutchinson is more of a prospect than Jordan Davis. He has ability, works at his craft, and he works at his conditioning. He does all the things that a pro does. This kid's a pro right out of the gate. If you're out of shape in any way, you still got some growing up to do. You can't show up to a football camp or a football facility only giving people 25 plays a game. Not in the pros. You get paid for this now. This ain't college, where one week the Georgia Bulldogs are playing an SEC team, then the next week they're playing Vanderbilt. You can't. That's not how the NFL works. The biggest thing for me that I had to learn was that teams with 2 losses versus teams with 12 wins. The fine line in the NFL is so fine between those teams. I say this, the difference between a successful season and a not so successful season is probably 50 plays a game or 50 plays a year between those teams. It's a fine line between winning and losing in the NFL. Everybody's great. Bad teams, good teams, don't show up one weekend and you see somebody kick the shit out of you like you saw the Jags kick in the final week of the season last year. Teams do this, man, because you know what happens nowadays? Because the money that's being generated, how would you like to be on a team that's not very good and your job's on the line and you may not be an NFL football player next year? You're going to play for the right for survival, more so than just a seat in the room. Some of these teams that you play on every given Sunday or any given Sunday, some of these guys are fighting for their careers. That's a hard dude to play against because there's no shit and no giving up in somebody like that. Those guys are hard, man. Sometimes harder to play against than even the more talented guys because these guys will do anything it takes to win. And Jordan Davis has to understand that this is a profession now. Okay? This is all about going to work now. You're not on scholarship anymore. I don't see Aiden Hutchinson having any type of game against us. He's literally going against Mount Everest in his first game. Well, I would say this, Slasher. I think they're going to move him up and down the line of scrimmage and put him on opportunities where they put him in a position to rush the passer. They may put him in a lot of stunts. I think they're going to move him all around the line of scrimmage. Okay? And you're going to have to be prepared for that. And I'm not saying that the Eagles will not be because they have a lot of veteran dudes in that position. I feel pretty comfortable with them taking care of him, but we'll see. And as I said to you before about Jordan Mailata, He gets beat on the first move, and then he struggles to get back into technique. And he's gotten better at it. And what you're doing when you're playing against Aiden Hutchinson, he's an effort guy too, along with his talent. Effort guys don't quit. And he is in great shape. We'll see what the Eagles look like when it comes to conditioning. Okay? We'll see what they look like. I think conditioning is going to be a factor in game one. I do. And it better not be. Because that's got nothing to do with talent. That's got everything to do with being prepared. That's what I would do, GT. I'd wear his ass out. I'd run right at him, man. I'd run right at him. And if I were the Eagles, but see, get this though, dude. Here's the one thing though, GT. If you run at him, okay, that's not what they're saying they're going to do. They're going to throw the ball. If you don't run at him and you're not physical with Aiden Hutchinson and you sit there and you're throwing the ball, that favors the defense because you're not being physical with the kid. I think you should be physical with the kid. Deontay coach says, imagine thinking a rookie in his first game will dominate an all-pro. Who are you talking about? Who's the all-pro? He's going to be playing against Mulata, dumbass. Where are you looking? He's not going against Lane. He's going to be going against Mulata. Mulata, as far as I see so far, is not an all-pro. Jesus, criminy guy. Do some homework. He's not playing against Lane. He's going to be playing the majority of the time against Mulata. Jesus, criminy. Read a depth chart. I talked to Chris Spielman 2 days ago. They're not going to – why would they put it – here, just so you know, why would you put a rookie on an all-pro? Oh, because – why? Why would I put Aiden Hutchinson and line him up on an all-pro? I'm going to take the lesser of the two evils and put him on Mulata. Yeah. Hey, let me line him up against Trent Williams and see how that works. Yeah, okay. You line kids up in positions to give them success. That's why you're going to see Jordan Davis the majority of the time. My opinion on first and second down because he's a run stopper. You're not going to see him on third. You're not going to see Jordan Davis on third and long. Why? This guy had 9 sacks in 44 games at Georgia. He's not a pass rusher. Jordan Davis is not a pass rusher. That's why I said you need to see more out of him. Chris goes, do you think Mulata can be all pro? I think Mulata will be all pro. Okay? Philly, I never said that. Lane's better right now. Okay? Lane's better right now. Mulata's there. Mulata's on his way. Give him time. Give him time. Mulata's on his way. But I'm not putting Aiden Hutchinson on Lane Johnson. Why would I do that? Why in the world would I put him on the best tackle to make him look bad? I'm going to find a place for him to have success because I'm trying to build his confidence up. Yeah, let's line Aiden Hutchinson up on Lane. I'm sure that'll build his confidence up by halftime. Yeah. Cease goes, dude's talking like Mulata. No. Wow. Jordan Mulata. I must have missed that too, Cease. I must have missed the NFL players voting him top 100 players because I didn't see his name in that list either. Mulata's not the same talent as Lane Johnson. He struggles when he gets beat on the first move. He's gotten better at it, like I said. That was one of the characteristics on why he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year, was because the first move beat him, and he couldn't get back into technique. Anybody who knows anything about watching film sees it. He's gotten better. That's a technique. And remember something. This kid didn't know how to put a helmet on 5 years ago. To see where he is right now is remarkable at his age. Give him time. He'll be all right. Okay? He'll be all right. He's not Lane Johnson, though. Lane Johnson's one of the top 3 tackles in the sport. The guy in San Francisco is the preeminent tackle in sport. Trent Williams, he's the best offensive tackle in the game. And it's really not close. He's the best. 215, Mulata has issues against ends with good technique. Correct. If he gets beat on the first move, like I said, getting back into technique has been an issue for him. Seals, if we get off, by the way, don't forget Ice Cube at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk some sports with our friend. I can't wait. Seals, if we get off to a hot 10 weeks, you got to do the show in a shirt and sing Fly, Eagles, Fly, since you're so convinced of the 2-4 start. Boy, you guys really, man. You guys want Big Seals to eat some crow here. All right, I promise you. I promise you. I told you I don't renege on that stuff. I promise you I will. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to do my show in Philadelphia week 6. I would make that trip. For that Dallas game, you got to beat Dallas. You have to beat Dallas. Okay? You have to beat Dallas. Can't look like a JV team against them. All right. I got to hit on Jonathan Gannon again. One of my favorite pinatas. I heard Seth today. I love that. And by the way, Xander, is that thing posted yet so people can go watch it too? You got to go back and watch that Seth Joyner interview. Seth is so good, man. I can't wait for him on our post-game show. He is so good. I mean it. I love listening to him talk football. And he said the same thing that I've been saying about Jonathan Gannon. So all you guys think that Jonathan Gannon got all these new toys. And he's got all these new things. And that's going to all of a sudden change him into this aggressive D coordinator. And he's going to turn into this Buddy Ryan 2.0 guy or Bud Carson or Jim Johnson. And all of a sudden he's going to be some play calling demon of a D coordinator. Do you really think that? There's not a person in their right frame of mind, okay, that thinks that guy's going to be any different than he was last year. Premieres at 6 p.m. Eastern time, right after the Big Seals show. Can't wait to watch it again. So wait a minute. You think because they added Hassan Reddick, 2 corners, Kaiser White, that Jonathan Gannon is going to be a better D coordinator? Who thinks that? Who thinks that? Who thinks that Jonathan Gannon is going to be a better D coordinator this year? I hear Rob saying it. I hear him. You guys think he's going to be a better D coordinator? Okay. Lucius, the show. Gannon sucks. Gannon is a bum. No one does. Eagles going 6-0 first 6 games. Yeah, that's what I love to hear. He's literally going to be our Howard this year. Okay? Under 300, he doesn't. I think we have the vets that will get us ready. Big Fletch Slay will push these guys. And the D will be great. He has to be, says Shane. Definitely not. Hey, stop with the guy Sermon. Okay? he may not even be active for week 1 against the Lions. And you guys would talk. I'll tell you what, some of the most popular players on the Eagles are the backups. And I mean it, man. You guys love these backup dudes. You do. I mean, he may not even be active. And do you know what they probably got the running back for? Special teams. How do you know he's not going to field punts and such? They may have got him to run down on kickoffs. Okay? They may have done that. Depth in the backfield because Sanders is always hurt. He may not be active. So I wouldn't be sitting there thinking, well, this guy here, man, he could be a 10 touchdown. He's not LeGarrette Blount. Guys are trying to make him into that. He's not that guy. Actually, he really hasn't been productive since he's come into the league. Chris goes, how can Gannon not expect more from himself with this talent? How can he not expect? No. He has a way of doing things. He believes in keeping a philosophy of everything underneath. Let's not punch anybody in the head. No blitzing, because that puts us what? That puts us on an island. When you blitz, it puts you on an island. When you're aggressive, that puts you on an island. We're not going to play press coverage. We're going to wait. Can I tell you the philosophy he has? He waits for you to make the mistake. That's not aggressive. That's passive aggressive. He figures this. You don't have the quarterback to go 12-play drive on his talented group of guys. I get it. And I kind of understand that a little bit. He looks for you to make the bad play. Because somewhere in a 12-play drive, you're going to. And that's how he looks at playing and play calling. But Seth Joyner said it today perfectly. Bro, he's who he is. He could have Lawrence Taylor on his team. And it wouldn't matter. He could have Reggie White and Jerome. So you think Jonathan Gannon would be the same coordinator that Buddy Ryan and Bud Carson were with Andre Waters and Wes Hopkins? Because he has that talent? Just because you have that talent doesn't mean you can get it across the finish line. Great example. So when Dick Vermeil was the head coach of the Rams and they won the Super Bowl, his coordinator was Mike Martz, right? Well, Vermeil resigns. Martz takes over. They get beat in the Super Bowl. Martz wasn't a good head coach. He was fair. Not great. Vermeil was a great head coach. Okay? He knew the buttons to push. Look at, people keep telling me how Carson Wentz went to shit. Carson Wentz went to shit, quite frankly, when Frank Reich left the building. When Frank was no longer in the building, play calling was never the same for him. There was a trust factor in there. And by the way, some would go, well, what happened in Indy? You didn't have the same dynamic. Doug, Jim Schwartz, coordinator, D, and Frank. You theoretically had 3 head football coaches in your coaching staff as coordinators and head coach. You got training wheels right now. Look at that coaching staff in 17 compared to the one now. Come on, man. That's a high school and a college. That's a college coaching staff. Jonathan Gannon is like Manny Diaz at Penn State. Keep everything in front of me. You see Manny Diaz last night with that Penn State defense? Keeping everything in front of him? That's not Penn State football that I remember. Penn State football was aggressive. They got after you, man. That was a different-looking Penn State team struggling against Purdue. Really? Since when? Since when has Penn State ever struggled against Purdue? That's not the Joe Paterno talent that I remember at Penn State. That's a different – I'm watching Penn State last night going, that ain't Penn State.